So here we got video 2 of my thrift store goods search, and this is the second thing that I picked up at the local Goodwill within the last few days or so. Now, if you guys haven't checked out the first video on the version of Monopoly that I picked up, the link for that will be right down below in the description section if you guys haven't checked it out yet. Today, my second find. This is an oldie, but a goodie if you guys still play it today, if you guys played it with your families and friends back then, and it turned into an all-out war. It's Trivial Pursuit. This game is a classic. Some people still play it to this day. Let's go ahead and check it out. Here we go, guys. Trivial Pursuit. Now, this box, this game, all right, I paid $5 for it, just like with Monopoly. Paid $5 for this at Goodwill. And it's not in the best of condition, but this is the original Trivial Pursuit that we had back in the 80s and the 90s. I don't even know when the game came out, but by telling you the condition like of the box, yeah, like the back of the box, it still has some of the back of the box in it. And this is back when games in the 80s, everything was like monochrome or black and white or whatever, like the Monopoly box was, so it wasn't very colorful or stood out. But, you know, you had a little description here of the game, talking about the game and such. Okay, so this game, okay, there's a Silver Screen Edition, All-Stars Edition, Baby Boomer Edition. That's talking about all the different sets that were coming out back then. And then, of course, you got the Young Players Edition. So that's pretty cool. And it shows you a picture of the board and everything that it comes with. But we're going to go ahead and look into that. But I do want to point out, like, you know, Trivial Pursuit, like this is like the original right here, you know. This is like number 7 off the press line, I guess. I don't even really know. But yeah, the standard blue box. Now, I will tell you before we get into this, these type of trivia games are very hard. So today's modern audience probably wouldn't even know or get with the questions and answers. They wouldn't know anything. So this is a game for people who grew up in the age of games like this. If you know, you know. Let's go ahead and look into it. Alright, so starting off, every game has the board on top, just like with Monopoly. And this one here, it folds out into 4. And it makes it almost about the same size as a Monopoly board, so it is pretty big. And this is Trivial Pursuit. So to those of you who have never played this game or seen this game, yes, this is a big wheel, and this is like a free-for-all for different players. And I believe up to 6 players, 4 to 6 players, can play this game. Now, what's with all the number spaces? Well, we will get into that. Let's set the board aside and get into the rest of the game. Okay, so underneath the board, you do have a bag that has all your pieces in it. You've got your actual pieces that people pick out. And looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like there would have been 6. 5's there, but I don't play with up to 6 people anyway. So these are your game pieces. People pick a different color, and they have 6 sections in it that are all triangular. And of course, you got these little triangular pieces. With as bad as this game has aged a little bit, some of the pieces are discolored or very light in color. So I couldn't even tell you if all the pieces are there. And of course, this one is an example of a game that requires only 1 dice. You're not going to be moving around the board like you do in Monopoly. So let me go ahead and get into the other piece of the whole game, and then we'll talk about how to play it. Okay, so there's 2 boxes of cards, and there's hundreds of question and answer cards in each box, and then you got to pick at least 2 card czars who are playing the game as well to be the ones to pick out the different questions. Now, it does say Genius Edition, or Genius Edition. Okay, I thought it said Genius Edition. So, each box has a heavy assortment of cards, and each card will have a listing of questions on one side and a listing of answers on the other side, if you guys can see there. And each question is color-coded a different color. So, how the game is played, you would take your piece, roll your die, and you would move your piece across the board until you land on whatever color space you need. Let's say you land on the blue space. Okay, so now you got the card czar to pick out a question, and they will read that color-coded question. For example, what European capital celebrated its 2000th anniversary in 1951? Paris. Guys, this is everything that has to do with the game Trivial Pursuit. It's pretty standard, you know, it's very self-explanatory. All you got to do is sit your piece anywhere in the center, roll the die, move your piece to a color code that you need. And the winner, in order to be the winner, to get to the end of the game, your piece has to be filled with all those little triangular pieces of each different color. By the time you get to all that, when you get to that point of the game, then you got to roll to get to the center and answer one more final question. You get the question right, you win the game. You get it wrong, then you're going to have to come back around on your turn and you'll have to answer another question. But other than that, this is Trivial Pursuit, guys, especially to those of you who are really young and don't remember this game or don't even know this game at all. So anyway, guys, what do you think about this game? Did you play this game as a kid? Do you still own this game today? Let us know down in the comments section of this game and other games that you remember owning. And until next time, guys, catch you in the next one.